Mr. Raycroft. How we doing?
Fantastic. How are you guys doing?
We're great. Are hockey players tougher than football players?
Different tough. Different tough.
Good answer.
Like football guys, we would probably, like you're in a bar with football guys, hockey guys would try them, but the mass and the size, we would be a little overwhelmed, but we also get hit with pucks. So, you might be able to take a few more. But no, the football and hockey guys, like Teddy probably has talked, like we respect each other in toughness. No one else is tougher than us. We know that.
No doubt.
We're the kings of the hill.
And I will say this. I think hockey, I think the Stanley Cup is harder to achieve than the Lombardi. I think you go through. It's a more difficult gauntlet of the playoffs. I mean, hell, you got 3 7-game series before you even get to the Stanley Cup. That's insane to me. So from that standpoint, I think hockey's tougher than football. I do.
So Charlie McAvoy is activated. That's kind of where this came from, activated with apparently a plate of some sort in his jaw. Pasta gets back on the ice. Did the team get past these injuries, and are now they rounding into a healthy form at the right time here?
Yeah, I'd like to give it another week and let these guys ramp up to full health. Of course, Charlie's going to be a little rusty tonight, dealing with the face. So let's say if they stay through this, through the rest of the road, give them the next 2 games on the road trip. If they get home and they're the same way, then yes, they've gotten through. Of course, they're 6-4 without Matt. In the last 10 games, they've been able to keep their head above water. They've got the best record, guys. Since I saw this today, I hadn't really put much thought into it, but they have the best record in the Eastern Conference since their 7 of 8 losses in late October. So there's a lot to be said of how they've been able to do that without McAvoy and David for a pretty big chunk of that time.
And funny little factoid about the Bruins as well. Only one team in the NHL has no overtime losses. Your Boston Bruins, which is pretty telling as well. Just more though on the magical carpet ride that is Morgan Geekie this year. How does it ever come to be, Razor, that somebody can be several years into their career and not only just gradually improve, but like outright blossom into an all-around superstar like this?
It doesn't happen too often, especially anymore. The young kids come out and they're just superstars at 18, 19, the Macklin Celebrinis and the Connor Bedards of the world. So for Morgan, I think the situation for him has been he's always been able to shoot it. He's always had great offensive instincts. He just hasn't been able to crack a top 6. Whether it was in Seattle when he first came to Boston, he would be on the top 6 sometimes, but I'm not sure if the teams he's been on and the coaches have really had conviction. I don't think Jim Montgomery really believed that he was a top 6 guy. And now, and since Montgomery left and basically the Bruins were in a situation last year when Morgan stepped into the top 6 in the end of November where they were pretty desperate at that point, and he hit connection with David Pastrnak, who, of course, we know is the top 5 player on the planet. And when you get confidence and when you get chemistry with a guy like that, you can really show off your offensive abilities. I think that's what Morgan Geekie's done. He's taken that ability, and now everybody knows he has the hardest shot. He still had the hardest shot 18 months ago. He just wasn't able to let it rip. He didn't have enough opportunities, and now he's getting those.
Okay, Razor, I know it's still a ways away, the trade deadline, but I'm curious what you think, what part of this roster could be upgraded at the trade deadline, and why?
I think it's the back end. I think you've got huge contributions from Jonathan Aspero, from Victor Soderstrom just comes up. They've gone through the 10D that we've talked about, and they've had big minutes and a great job from those guys. I think, unfortunately, though, as I say that, I think there's 20 other teams that would say the exact same thing. So there's not a lot of guys out there, but that right-handed shot defensive still elusive. I think if they could find a way, I think if they were looking for someone at the deadline and they were in the position they are at that time still, I think you're looking for depth on the back end.
Andrew Razor Raycroft here on WEEI Afternoons. Fraser Minton, a guy they added at the trade deadline. The growth we've seen from him from then till now, what do you think of that? And do you think it's sustainable? Is there more room for more growth? What are your thoughts on Minton?
It's sustainable, and there's tons of more room. I think seeing him score 2 goals the other night, like, can he become a top 6 guy? Can he be a top 6 centerman where if you're that guy, you're required to get 55, 60 points minimum? I think a great example for him is Charlie Coyle. Like, he's easily going to be a Charlie Coyle, which is an unbelievable career, unbelievable player. But can he elevate offensively just a little more than Charlie to become that solid second line center? I think that's the one question I have. But without a doubt, his sustainability, his mind is going to bring him. If he isn't the second line, he's one of the best third line centers when he gets to his prime.
So, Razor, seems as though when it comes to the Olympic rink, they're experiencing some delays with issues. There's issues with size, some construction delays, and it's December, and I'm already watching promos on NBC for the Olympics. So do you think this impacts the tournament, and how does the league feel about the fact that there are potential rink issues?
The league is not happy. The league is definitely not best friends with the IOC and the IIHF and all those governing bodies that we know are as corrupt as any organization in the entire planet.
More than FIFA?
That's hard to do.
Yeah, they're right there. They're right there with those guys. There's a lot of concern. There is a lot of concern. I think we've seen this over the years where this kind of panic happens and they paper mache the thing together and they get through the 2 weeks and you never think about it again. But what's added the wrinkle to this is somehow they screwed up the size of the ice. And I don't think that's, again, that's not the complete game breaker that players won't go, but it just goes to show the ineptitude and the fact that the league has to deal with this, doesn't sit well with them. And but the players are going to go. They want to go. They collectively bargain this. They want to go. I think the league would shut the whole thing down if they could right now. But for the players, this is an important milestone for the guys that can play.
All right, Razor, before we let you go, I love to put you on the spot and just ask for a prediction tonight. Winnipeg, what happens?
Well, Winnipeg's really struggling. No Connor Hellebuck. You talk about the USA starting goalie in the Olympics. It would have been nice to see Swayman and him go at it. Instead, we're going to see Korpisalo go on the road. He's 0-3 in his last 3. I think he's good for a bounce back tonight. He's going to have a good start. He's been playing well. So I say, but I feel it's going to be low score. It's going to be low scoring, kind of a gross night, Thursday night, Winnipeg. Let's say 4-2 with an empty netter Bruins.
These are probably the toughest questions he has to answer every time. I love it.
Oh, yeah, it's impossible.
It's hard.
Impossible.
I know.
Also, Razor, tonight apparently the Stadium Series alternate jerseys are being revealed for the Bruins and the Lightning. We know how much you love an alternate jersey. What are these going to look like? And also, whose idea was it to play hockey outdoors in Tampa?
Well, it's going to be. We were talking about the other day. It better be a little chilly down there because we could have rink issues like they have in Milano right now down in Tampa in another 2 months as well. With alternate jerseys, my guess is the kids think they're awesome. I think they're going to be. I might have an inclination that they're bright and cool and better than Tampa's. How about that?
All right, I'll take it. I think I'm going to like it if it's bright. I like the orange Anaheim jerseys, so
of course you would.
Bright. Yep, that's what I like. So orange. Razor,
and they're right in time for Christmas, gang. Imagine how they did that too, walking right out of the gift shop at Walt Disney. Same idea.
Perfect. All right, Razor. Enjoy the game tonight. Enjoy the week. We'll talk to you next week.
Thanks, Razor.